Please note that this content is for adults only. Viewer discretion advised. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe, like, and share. Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode with me, Gisela K. I am South African living in the Netherlands and this is Grizzly True Crime, Grizzly like the bear. Thank you so much for being here. If you wouldn't mind, please like and share so that others know we are live right now. If you're watching the replay, thank you so much for watching the replay. I really appreciate all replay watchers as well. Welcome back to moderators, patrons, and members. Thank you so much for supporting the work that I do. Welcome to all the current subscribers, new subscribers, old subscribers, everyone. Okay, so we are live again for the second time today. Very happy to be here with you. And we're going to be diving into some Kohberger news. There's actually news. There's been a lot of no news being reported as news lately. And it's been a little bit frustrating because then my inbox is full of that stuff. And I'm like, what must I do with it, you know? What must I say? Okay, just hold on. I just quickly want to get the chat going here. So there are some new documents and it's quite interesting actually to look at. So we'll do that. Welcome Cyber Ninja to $1 supporter. Thank you so much for being a member. Really appreciate it. So there's some new documents that just dropped. And then we'll go over some of the other news just a little bit I don't think this was such big news, but let's just get this out the way. People were like, oh my word. Like we went over this Bryan Kohberger, cutting fish and things as a job very briefly months ago. So a lot of things are like kind of doing the second round, including the audio that was debunked a very long time ago, the fake Ring door camera audio. Oh my word. I'm just like, what? 4 or 5 months later, it's still going around. If you know nothing about this case, on November 13th, 2022, 4 University of Idaho students were murdered in their off-campus home at 1122 King Road in Moscow, Idaho. And their names are Ethan Chapin, Xana Kernodle, Kaylee Goncalves, and Madison Mogen. And then on December 29th, a suspect was arrested, which was actually really quick, like 49 days or so, Bryan C. Kohberger. And so then he was extradited. He was arrested at his parents' house, and then he was extradited and sent to Idaho. And that's where he's been doing all these court proceedings. His next hearing, I believe, is on June 26th, and his trial is set to start on October 2nd. So that's what these documents are all about in preparation for that, right? Okay, and I just think that, of course, his defense team, they're doing their job, right? So don't worry, we're not going to rely too much on these articles. I just want to show you this because it's something I didn't cover a few days ago because I just didn't feel it was news enough to really go live and talk about it. But here they say on Fox News, no shade to Fox, by the way, I'm just saying on Fox News, okay, the 28-year-old criminology PhD student who is now a quadruple homicide suspect previously wrote that his special skills included rigorous punching workouts and a year of youth law enforcement training in a 2015 job application to work school security. So they found this application, right? I boxed after school every day at the Jesse Harris Boxing Gym on 209 next to the Big Cheese Pizza when it was still open, he wrote. I also attended a year of the law enforcement program and a year of HVAC because his dad worked in HVAC, right? He was vying to work either as a fill-in custodian, courier, or security guard for the Pleasant Valley School District in his Pennysylvania hometown effort. His employment history showed only 2 previous gigs, 7 months at the Big Brown Fish and Pay Lakes in 2011, and 4 months in the butcher and produce departments at a BJ's Wholesale Club in Stroudsburg in 2015. He added that he did some side work for his father, a district maintenance worker, learning how to do pipe work and HVAC. So here they've got the document to see there. If you are interested in that, I'll link this article in there for you. Okay. So he said, I was a boxer and I'm still a runner, he wrote. I believe dedication and perseverance are the most important skills learned from my activities. I lost 130 pounds at age 15 into age 16 whilst attending school at PVHS and MCTI. I believe this is proof that I have the required dedication to be successful. He also claimed to be a champion extemporaneous speaker. Am I saying that right? A competitive improv speaker. I don't know about that. Do you think that he was a champion speaker? Because I'm not so sure based on what people have said about him that knew him from college, right? Okay, so are we now ready to dive into the documents? Because that's pretty much what's been doing the rounds. Okay. So remember that Bryan Kohberger, I know some people get annoyed by this, but it's really true, okay? He's innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. And so today we're going to be looking at brand new documents. There have been a lot of documents along the way, but a lot of them, it's a bit of a nothing burger. It's just legal proceedings. But this one is a little bit interesting now. Okay, so we're going to be looking at that. So just stand by 1 second. I'm just seeing what you guys are saying here quickly. I just want to see what you guys are saying. He makes me sick. My skin crawl. Okay, that's what you guys saying. You see, yeah, you guys are, I don't know, man. Let's just get into this. Okay, so here they say this is from the state of Idaho, straight from the court site. Thank you to MB Inc. for alerting me to this. You see, Twitter, you guys. If you guys don't follow me on Twitter yet, please follow me on Twitter. We just hit 24K followers there, which was a pretty cool milestone on Twitter. And there's a lot of Grizzlies on there. Like, so a lot of you are on there, right? And that's where the news breaks the fastest. So when I saw this on Twitter from MB Inc. MB Inc. is a YouTube channel, MB Inc., right? I was like, wait, what? So yeah, then I had to dive into all these documents. Janet Murphy says, love docs, right? Okay, why is the chat not popping up? There we go. Love docs. Yes, love them. Okay. So I say nerd alert in the best way because I'm a nerd too. Me. I'm a nerd. I love documents. Okay, so State of Idaho plaintiff versus Bryan C. Kohberger defendant. Memorandum on cameras during hearings. Comes now Bryan C. Kohberger by and through their attorney, J. Weston Logston. These are all death penalty qualified attorneys, capital punishment qualified attorneys, right? Chief Deputy Litigation, and hereby provides the following memorandum on the use of cameras during the hearings in this case. So we're looking at that. Lady V, thank you for being a member for 4 months. This is 8 pages. We're going to look at quite a few things, okay? But this one is 8 pages long. Okay, so they say issues. 1, the court should limit media coverage of this case to protect Sixth Amendment interests. 2, the court should not permit the media to use cameras to permit unfairly prejudicial coverage of Mr. Kohberger or harass courtroom participants. Okay, makes sense. 3, the court should not permit cameras in the courtroom to distract courtroom participants from the real purpose we are here. Is this big enough for you guys? I can make it slightly bigger if you like. Let's go like this, so that you can see nicely. Okay. So they say facts. Mr. Kohberger's charge and subsequent courtroom proceedings have captured the attention of local and national news organizations as well as social media platforms. Well, I would say international, definitely. The court has previously permitted cameras in the courtroom in regards to this case's prior proceedings. However, given the sensationalized nature of the case, the audio-visual coverage has become material for news outlets and social media accounts to espouse the unfounded opinions. Following each of Mr. Kohberger's court appearances, numerous social media posts have been made regarding him through Facebook posts, YouTube and TikTok videos, and a podcast. I wonder why they say and a podcast instead of and podcast, right? But okay, each video attempts to analyze Mr. Kohberger's demeanor by observing his body language from one court appearance and describing him using phrases, okay, such as cold iciness. It looks like he's just filled with darkness and hate, and he keeps getting creepier, among numerous other phrases. So him and his team are filing for, so it's his attorneys filing, right? But yeah, him and his team, they don't want cameras in the courtroom, even for the hearings. So it's about the hearings coming up and the trial, all right? So yes, Loki says we should not get annoyed. We should let due process take course. I have a lot of questions in all fairness. If I was on the jury, I try to be objective. I know this horrible happened to the poor kids. Yes, so the thing is, I mean, again, they're doing their job. Right? To me, it makes sense that they would file for this, of course. And, I mean, the defense attorneys, they're there to protect their client. And, of course, this case is it's really in the spotlight like we haven't seen, right? It's really always, almost every single day, there's hundreds of videos on this case for months and months and months on end. So yeah, I get it, you know? So anyway, let's have a look what they say, right? So then they actually took snippets, like little, and we're going to look at a 50-page document, but don't worry, it won't take too long because it's like big pictures, like screenshots basically, of like sidebar, cold iciness, Bryan Kohberger's body language before and after the arrest for the Idaho murders analyzed. And this says it looks like he's just filled with darkness and hate. That's from TikTok, okay? This one is cold iciness again, and here we've got Nancy Grace, True Crime News. Nancy Grace breaks down disturbing new details released about Kohberger. So then they say the court should limit media coverage of this case to protect Sixth Amendment interests. While the media holds the crucial role of informing the public of criminal proceedings, the right only exists to the extent that it does not impede upon the rights of a defendant and is subject to maintaining fairness in the judicial process. A fundamental right of every defendant is the right to a fair trial by an impartial jury established by the Sixth Amendment of the United States Constitution. And they're listed, right? In all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed, which district shall have been previously ascertained by law, and to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation, to be confronted with a witness against him, to have compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in his favor, and to have the assistance of counsel for his defense. U.S. Constitution amended, right? The right to public trial is not a right belonging to the public, but one belonging to the accused. Yes, he's got rights, you guys, of course. As such, even though the public may have an interest in a particular case, interest alone does not create a constitutional right. Furthermore, as the court held in Shepard, given the pervasiveness of modern communications and the difficulty of effacing prejudicial publicity from the minds of the jurors, the trial courts must take strong measures to ensure that the balance is never weighed against the accused. Thus, the court has a duty to preserve a defendant's right to a fair trial and must limit media exposure when it's apparent that the accused might otherwise be prejudiced or disadvantaged. To preserve a defendant's right, the court must balance the rights of a defendant and the interests of the media. In doing so, the court ought to recognize that a First Amendment claim should not impinge upon the most fundamental of all freedoms, the right to a fair trial. Patriot Lady, thank you for being a member for 9 months. Okay, so furthermore, while recognizing the importance of the media, the court has held that the Sixth Amendment does not require that the trial or any part of it be broadcast live or on tape to the public. The requirement of a public trial is satisfied by the opportunity of members of the public and the press to attend the trial and to report what they've observed. So it sounds like this could go the way that Lori Vallow Daybell's trial went, of maybe only getting audio every day. But remember that this is just what the defendant and their attorneys, Bryan Kohberger and his attorneys, have filed for. The judge hasn't made a response yet. So, yes, okay. They say, when cameras, okay, the court should not permit the media to use cameras to permit unfairly prejudicial coverage of Mr. Kohberger or harass courtroom participants. So they're expanding on this, right? When cameras are present in the courtroom, the defendant becomes subject to minute scrutiny, as his or her every movement can be replayed and analyzed. As such, the court in Vallow Daybell held that video footage from a hearing displayed an inordinate focus on the is that the defendant? Yeah. Zooming onto her face throughout the vast majority of the hearing, regardless of who was speaking or what was happening. In the present case, Mr. Kohberger's actions are heavily scrutinized as self-proclaimed experts, in brackets, these YouTubers, okay, utilize audio or visual footage from courtroom proceedings to make assumptions regarding his body language and character, which actualizes prior court's concern regarding the presence of cameras in the courtroom. For instance, a YouTube video titled "Psychologist Breaks Down Bryan Kohberger's Arraignment Body Language" purports to dissect every gesture, every shift in posture, every flicker of emotion that crossed Kohberger's face during this tense courtroom scene, while utilizing only one courtroom video. Like Valo Daybell, the purpose of the footage is to scrutinize Mr. Kohberger's actions. In Valo Daybell, the court determined that the footage during a hearing demonstrated an inordinate focus on the defendant. Here, the court need not determine the purpose of a video utilizing audio-visual recordings, as the purpose of the commentator's purpose is explicitly clear. And such a video would not exist except for the presence of cameras in the courtroom. Furthermore, the video posted on May 23rd garnered over 44,000 views in 2 days, further demonstrating the high level of interest in the case and the 44,000. I think it was a lot more than that, you guys. But okay, sorry. You mean 440,000? Okay, 44,000 in 2 days, further demonstrating the high level of interest in the case and the potential impact of pretrial publicity. Loki Geldenes, dankjewel. Thank you so much, Dunky, for the hometown super sticker. Yes, okay, I'll read your thoughts in a moment here. I'm just quickly looking at this. I'm looking at this, you guys. I'm reading it to you. Okay, so additionally, an article published by the New York Post relied on audio-visual recordings to analyze Mr. Kohberger's body language. The article states that by dissecting his most minute behaviors, from the use of his tongue to his controlled reactions and the tone of his voice, can paint a picture of his mindset. By doing so, the recordings are once again being utilized to scrutinize Mr. Kohberger, as the expert reached an uncorroborated conclusion after viewing only one video. Stephanie Pagones accused Idaho killer Bryan Kohberger's body language compared to Lee Harvey Oswald. New York Post, May 23rd, 2023. They put the link there and everything. Okay, despite the apparent popularity of articles and videos claiming to explain body language, many such claims are not supported by scientific evidence, as previous articles not cited by the self-appointed body language experts in videos concerning Mr. Kohberger explain. Jazz King, thank you for being a member for 6 months. Okay, so that's what we have so far, yes, okay. In fact, studies have repeatedly shown that body language cannot accurately be read like a book. Amelia Tate, body language pseudoscience, is flourishing on YouTube. Okay, so Vincent Dennell, a postdoctoral fellow in psychology at McGill University, explains how there's no innate universal language of the body, and when self-appointed experts associate specific gestures or facial expressions with particular meanings, the statements fall under the umbrella of pseudoscience. Okay. Do you guys agree? Jazz King, thank you for your $5 super sticker. By the way, I see all your comments, guys. I'm just putting these on screen because if I miss them, they're like colorful. They light up. I see them, right? If I miss them, then I'll forget about them later. I can't access them again because the chat flies by. So thank you so much for your support. Midwest Girl says they should at least allow audio so we can listen live or later on delay. I'm thinking they might do that because remember they did that with the Lori Valo Daybell one, right? Dawn, welcome to a membership. And Detra Ed says something needs to be available, if not video. Yeah, it probably shouldn't be completely secretive, right? That'll be interesting. Oh my word. Okay, and so we continue on. They say, moreover, Dennell describes how even keen observers cannot infer a person's thoughts or intentions based on their non-verbal behavior alone due to the lack of scientific support. And then they show Ramin Skiba undark the truth about reading body language. Popular Science, another link. Thus, when articles and videos proclaim to reveal an individual's state of mind, they only contribute to an ecosystem of misinformation in which disparaging comments and dubious theorics flourish. True Crime, Diva. You've still got Gannon's picture that Van LeChimp made. Thank you, Van, for making that. And True Crime Diva, thank you for being a member for 13 months. You say thank you, G, for being the voice to all victims. Thank you so much. Macrogram says, no cameras in court because someone on YouTube doesn't like Kohberger's clenching his jaw. This is silly. Well, they've got to try, right? The defense has got to try. So along with making claims about Mr. Kohberger based on body language, social media videos also utilize the audio or visual footage from the courtroom proceedings to make comments regarding Mr. Kohberger's character. The videos use phrases such as cold, iciness, and if you've never seen evil before, this is what it looks like when you're in the presence of a demon. Okay. Similarly, in Irvin, the court held that clearly prejudicial statements included articles that characterized petitioner as remorseless and without a conscience. As the court in Nebraska Press Associated noted, such characterizations may impact a jury's determinations as their ability to decide the case fairly is influenced by the tone and extent of the publicity. As such, these phrases are used to characterize and make determinations about an individual based on limited footage with no regard for the presumption of innocence, which may impact a jury's opinion. Okay. Kami, thank you for being a member for 5 months. Becky G says, what about Pam Smart, O.J. Simpson, Casey Anthony, Dahmer, Bundy, Tim McVeigh, Scott Peterson, Jodi Arias, Rodney King, Richard Ramirez, and on, right? They were televised. Indeed, they were. I think the social media age, has just taken off. It's like all new levels, right? But I hear you, they were televised. And I mean, the thing is that maybe they also filed motions like this, right? The defense has to try everything possible to protect their client. Bama Skin says, I'm on the fence about BK. I do believe cameras keeps law enforcement and the investigation process transparent for the public. Lots of questions about the investigation so far that can be answered during the trial. Thank you so much for your sticker. Yes, indeed. Okay. And Caroline says, so this motion says no info is better than sensationalized info. They figure faked up leaks is better than actually seeing the facts as they unfold. And Papa Bear says, I don't think it's BK who doesn't want cameras. His attorneys don't want cameras and are requesting such on his behalf. Right? Yes. So it's him and his team. I guess that's based on my thumbnail, right? So it's Bryan C. Kohberger. We'll go to the beginning again, but yes, you are Papa Bear. You're right. Patty Real says, so far, you're the best at what you do, hands down. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, let's continue on. We're on page 6, you guys. This court should not permit cameras in the courtroom to distract courtroom participants from the real purpose we are here. Once courtroom participants know they are being recorded, they may behave differently. The courts, in Estes held that when a case is steeped in pretrial publicity, televised jurors cannot help but feel the pressures of knowing that friends and neighbors have their eyes upon them. The court further elaborated on how the presence of recording equipment may not be the distraction, but more so the awareness of being recorded. The court even goes so far as to say not only will a juror's eyes be fixed on the camera, but also his mind will be preoccupied with the telecasting rather than the testimony. I don't know. What do you think? In this day and age, I feel like people are so used to cameras, but keeping an open mind. Following the similar reasoning, the court in Valodeba also expressed concern regarding the additional pressure witnesses and counsel may be exposed to, knowing their every expression, utterance, and appearance will be captured and circulated without their control. They said decision and order prohibiting video and photographic coverage. The court also notes that the pressure placed on witnesses may unduly influence jurors as they may make an incorrect determination regarding the witness while he or she is under the additional pressure of being recorded. The presence of cameras also places additional responsibilities on the trial judge. Now, not only must the judge preside over the proceedings, a task which requires his utmost attention, but also the media to ensure it complies with the rules governing courtroom conduct. As such, the existence of cameras in the courtroom may potentially burden a judge, as he might have his attention diverted from the task at hand, the fair trial of the accused. Additionally, the defendant may also be distracted by cameras. As the court in Estes held, the inevitable close-ups of his gestures and expressions during the ordeal of this trial might well transgress his personal sensibilities, his dignity, and his ability to concentrate on the proceedings before him. Sometimes the difference between life and death, dispassionately, freely, and without the distraction of wide public surveillance. As a result, a defendant may not be able to fully focus on the proceedings despite being entitled to having his or her day in court. Therefore, the presence of cameras allows for the potential that the courtroom will devolve from a place for the victim, society, and the accused to receive justice to a mere spectacle. Yeah, that feels like that's already happened on social media, right? But we mustn't, that should not happen at the trial. but let me know what you think. I'm going to read your comments in a moment. They say, conclusion, the courtroom has a duty to preserve a defendant's right to a fair trial and ought to mitigate the prejudicial effects on trial publicity by exercising discretion to exclude video recordings from the courtroom. Thus, the court should exclude cameras from future courtroom proceedings to protect the integrity of the judicial process. Dated on the 6th of June, 2023. Aaron Morgan says, as a crime buff, he would have wanted cameras on this case if it wasn't him on trial. I mean, that's if we just go to the beginning and say, comes now Bryan C. Kohberger by and through his attorney. So it's his attorneys, right, filing these motions and things, you know. So I would actually wonder, not that we should speculate at this point based on this, right, on his personality type, what we've seen so far. I wonder if someone like that, a suspect like that, wouldn't actually want cameras in the courtroom. Who knows? But I just think the defense is doing the best they can to protect their client. What do you think? Right on. Josephine says, sounds like legalese to no loan. Yeah, Mike M says, so by that logic, no courtroom should ever have cameras. Well, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, in the UK, in South Africa, in the Netherlands, you know, I'm South African living in the Netherlands, trials and cases are very protected, you know? So that would not be unfamiliar to me. But I think for Americans, this is very like, what? Like, there's not going to be any cameras, right? Okay. Yeah, and Renegade says, aren't jurors protected from being filmed until afterwards? Right, they are. They seem to be indicating they don't trust the ability of a juror of his peers to make decisions, period. I mean, yeah, usually they don't actually show them. So then there's also this one. This is 50 pages, but don't worry. What this is an expansion of what we just read. Motion to take judicial notice of press coverage, and it's screenshots. So let's quickly go through that, right? Yeah, Merritt says most countries don't have cameras in the court. That's what I'm used to. I'm so not used to being able to, like, get your hands on the documents, especially from anywhere. Like, to be able to get the documents, to be able to see all the trials, to be able to see in the courtroom is, like, so unfamiliar to me. It still feels strange, but I'm like, okay. It's very, very interesting nonetheless. Jazz King says, I'm not Team Bryan, but he's not going to get a fair trial anywhere in Idaho. Oh, man. Midwest Girl says, are they going over this on Friday or no? Is it another day that we'll learn if cameras will be allowed? On Friday. I'm not sure. I just want to see this hearing. This one is for the 27th. Because I know about the next one is the 26th of June. That's what I've written down. I can't remember. There's so many dates, so many hearings, so many things happening, right? All the time. Okay, so let's look at this one again. Here they say, comes now Bryan C. Kohberger by and through their attorney, J. Weston Logsdon, Chief Deputy Litigation, and hereby moves this honorable court to take judicial notice of the press coverage of this case. No hearing is required for a court to take judicial notice of publicly available media coverage that is not subject to reasonable dispute. IRE 201B2, courts have routinely taken judicial notice of things like web pages and social media postings. Right? Karen Bookout, thank you for your sticker, and you say, I'm surprised, no change of venue yet. Right? So here they say, although Mr. Kohberger notes that this court may simply, although Mr. Kohberger notes, that this court may simply take judicial notice on its own of any press coverage it is aware, he specifically requests the court consider the attached articles. So that's why I say, him, because they say he is requesting the following, right? Okay. Someone's saying maybe they don't allow cameras because they bring on Dr. Lewis. I really hope not. Okay, there's a hearing on Friday. Today is Wednesday, June 7th, 8th, 9th of June. Okay. So, here they say, Mr. Kohberger, he specifically requests the court consider the following, the attached articles. Caitlin Hornick, capital punishment. Families of Bryan Kohberger's victims will seek death penalty for Idaho murder suspect and speak out on plea deal. Madeline Coggins, Parallels of Evil. Okay, Parallels of Evil. Ted Bundy survivors speak out, linking their gruesome attacks to Bryan Kohberger's. Oh, man. Stephanie Pagonis, accused Idaho killer Bryan Kohberger's body language compared to Lee Harvey Oswald. Sherry Mossberg, here's why Idaho student murder suspect Bryan Kohberger may have chosen to stand silent in court, experts say. Fatma Khaled, Idaho murder victim's father, has a warning for Bryan Kohberger. Melissa Koenig, if they are in over their heads, then acknowledge that. More than 6 weeks after Idaho murders, Kaylee Goncalves' family lawyer questions if police are capable. It's so odd how he's focusing on these articles. I mean, out of all of these, he's listed A, B, C, D, E, F, G, 7. I mean, 3 or 4 of them. 4 of them are like about Kaylee's family. That's interesting. So here they say, sorry, let's go to F, okay? They say if they are in over their heads, right? Kaylee Goncalves' family lawyer questions if police are capable. And then G says Goncalves' family attorney speaks out on 1 month anniversary of murders. Okay. Yes, Stefan says Grizzly True Crime's not listed. Thank goodness. I feel like the way this case has gone, some YouTubers will be upset. Like, why am I not on here? I didn't make it on the list. So Exhibit A. Exhibit A is an article from the US Sun that says, and I'm going to make it slightly bigger. Capital punishment. Families of Bryan Kohberger's victims will seek the death penalty for Idaho murder suspect and speak out on plea deal. So this seems to be ones, according to what they just said, that he is pointing out, right? And I think because, of course, he's still innocent till proven guilty and he's in jail, I think he has access to watch certain things and read certain things, from my understanding. Lisa Marie, thank you for being a member for 13 months. So here they say the families of 2 victims of Idaho murder suspect Bryan Kohberger have shared that they will seek the death penalty in the case against him. Yes, okay. The photo, we've seen that. Bryan Kohberger pleaded not guilty to the quadruple murder earlier in May. Steve Goncalves' daughter Kaylee was one of the 4 slain students. So the Goncalves family obviously supports the death penalty in this case. Shannon Gray, the Goncalves family attorney, told News Nation they want justice for the deaths of their daughter and Maddie and Xana and Ethan. It's part of the process. You know, the tort claims notice that I filed is just standard procedure. Interesting. That's something that has to be filed to protect the interest not only of the families but the victims and the community. Meanwhile, Gray shared that the families are looking to take legal action against the city of Moscow, Idaho, where the killings took place. Okay, and then what else are they sharing here? This whole article, interesting. Those aren't meant to do anything other than protect the interests of the families and the victims moving forward. Look. Very interesting. I will be putting all these documents on Patreon if you are interested. They are also on the Idaho court site. After being asked if he understood the charges and penalties, the accused killer firmly replied yes to Judge John Judge. Kohberger sat unemotional as the judge read the names of each victim one at a time as he announced the 4 first-degree murder charges against him. When asked for his plea, Kohberger remained silent. Taylor Rose said, "Your Honor, we are standing silent." Taylor Rosen said, oh, I'm like, Taylor Rose. Taylor Rosen said, okay, when a defendant stands silent in court, they are exercising their right to remain silent. The families of Mogen and Goncalves were also in the courtroom, according to Idaho Statesman reporter Angela Palermo, who was in court for the arraignment. A trial date's been set for October 2nd. Following the arraignment, the judge held a hearing regarding the strict gag order prohibiting police officials or attorneys from speaking to the media about the case. So there's that. I'm just going to go forward a little bit. USA Kiwi, yeah, I'm back. So let's see what else they've got here. This is page 12 of 50. Exhibit B, that was Exhibit A, that article. Okay. Exhibit B. Parallels of Evil. Ted Bundy survivors speak out, linking their gruesome attacks to Bryan Kohberger's. Now, I'm not going to read all of these articles now because we will literally be here forever. And we've read through some of these before. I've actually never read through this one on my channel, but like in doing research, I'm sure you've read it, right? Damn. Like, Exhibit B is this one. Okay. Comparing him to Ted Bundy. See, with the pictures and all that. Okay. Let's go look at Exhibit C. Exhibit C now, everyone, is the New York Post. Accused Idaho killer Bryan Kohberger's body language compared to Lee Harvey Oswald. Right? Okay. Exhibit D. Here we go. Here's why Idaho student murder suspect Bryan Kohberger may have chosen to stand silent in court, experts say. Yeah, Janet said, so I'm sure Bryan has read these. I'm thinking so. And he's not liking these, okay? Wow. And with the pictures, of course, as well. We've all seen all these pictures a lot, huh? What happens next for Kohberger? Yeah, that picture's on my thumbnail. Mm-hmm. That was a good... Whoever this photographer was, who took it? There, Zach Wilkinson. That was a good shot that he got, huh? GMA says he's going for that can't get a fair trial defense. Rochelle Pronzo says, you are an expert on those guys, Gisela. Yes. Thank you. You mean like Ted Bundy? Because of the books I wrote, right? Oh, man. So, yeah. That was Exhibit D. Now we're on Exhibit E. Let's see what Exhibit E is. It's quite a few. Now it says, Idaho murder victim's father has warning for Bryan Kohberger. I find it interesting that he's focusing on those. That he's very upset about Kaylee's dad's take on things. What do you guys think? Rowena Rains, you say, thanks for all the work you do. Don't forget to recharge and rest. Oh, thank you so much. Don't worry, I will. Definitely. After this live stream, I'm gonna. Thank you so much. So, yeah, that's interesting. Thank you so much, Rochelle. Yes, I also think this. VMath says, I feel like there will be delay after delay after delay. We'll be lucky to see a trial in 2025. That's what I'm thinking. I think this could be a while. Let me just resize this. It could be. Okay. So we've got that. Amazing. Right. Sure. Focusing on that. Exhibit F is Daily Mail. If they are in over their heads, then acknowledge that. More than 6 weeks after Idaho murders, Kaylee Goncalves' family lawyer questions if police are capable. Like, why that one? But okay. This is when they had their own private investigator, and they were questioning the police before they wait more than 6 weeks. I think it's even before he got arrested. It's so odd that he's focusing on those. Weird. I'm probably going to go down the rabbit hole and just analyze. Like, what is he... what are the exhibits that they're showing here? Okay, and then, most importantly, Bryan and his team, Kohberger and his team, do not want cameras for any of the hearings or in the courtroom for the trial, right? That's what the important news is for today, which we saw coming, right? That's not a surprise. Are we surprised? Oh, man, just go all the way down. That's exhibit, yes. We still go Exhibit G. Goncalves' family attorney speaks out on 1-month anniversary of murders. He says he met with investigators, okay, and they talked about accountability and transparency. He told Nonstop Local the family has not been getting the information that they desire. Odd. Alicia says death penalty deadline is coming up, right? I do believe so. I don't remember when that deadline is, but yes. I have it in my notes somewhere. I must go look. And catch up on that as well. Shannon Gray, he's showing this as well. Detra says he's trying to control the outcome of the trial. Caroline says, yep, there's going to be a case where they play the odds, I hereby opine, and they will try to every side trip motion, every delay, every confusion to make it take forever and just hope for a lucky break. Yeah, he's eager to be exonerated, allegedly, right? If he even said that. Apparently he said that. So yeah, those are the exhibits. Okay, and then let's look at this one, which is only 2 pages. Here they say motion for order permitting Zoom participation at hearing for witness or to continue hearing. Comes now Bryan C. Kohberger, by and through the attorney, J. Logsdon, Chief Deputy Litigation, and hereby moves the court. Ah, is this the hearing you're talking about? Right. Okay, I got it. So they're saying hereby moves the court, okay, for an order permitting participation via at the hearing currently scheduled for June 9th, 2023 at 1:30 p.m. Counsel has arranged for expert witness Gene Saucier to be available via Zoom on that date and time. If that's not possible, Mr. Kohberger would request this hearing be continued. So see, this hearing, as we'll see now, this is the one that's happening then on Friday. Yes, the 9th. Brooke, welcome to membership. We will have a members-only stream again soon, you guys. We'll have one. We'll have one soon again. Okay. Especially if there's something to snark about, right? So here they say, this motion is made on the grounds that Miss Saucier is Mr. Kohberger's witness for the amount and type of coverage that this case has received, but is out of state and unable to appear in person on such short notice. Her testimony would be invaluable to understanding the data that Mr. Kohberger is presenting. So everything we just read, this Miss Saucier, Gene Saucier, is probably the screenshotter, the one collecting all the data of like, look at this, and look where they mentioned that. Right? Okay, so we've got that, and then there's this document as well. There's quite a few documents, but I picked out the most interesting ones for you. Notice is given that the above entitled case is set for a motion hearing on the 27th of June at 1:30 p.m. Judge John Judge. Motion hearing, defendant's motion to make available record of all proceedings of the grand jury. I'm not sure that they're going to get all that, but okay. They want to know with that secret grand jury, because the grand jury indictment is always secret. But okay, they want to know, what all did you say? Who did you talk to? Who was there? What happened? They want all the information from there as well. Yes. Okay, thank you, Tony. Wait, I should write that down. I have it written somewhere because I've got 20 million notebooks, literally. Okay, I shouldn't say literally because not literally 20 million, but I have so many notebooks. Okay, wait, July 21st, death penalty. There we go. Okay, that's the death penalty deadline. Whew, so we shall see. That's for the prosecution to indicate if they're going to pursue the death penalty or not. Caroline says, do we know what kind of expertise the expert has? We don't know. I'm not T-Pain. You say, I'm so tired of hearing about this creepy, googly-eyed beach boy. You and me both, honestly. I found this quite interesting, but yeah, every day, every fucking day when I see this Kohberger stuff, I'm like, again, like more of it. Damn, like just can't we just either wait for the trial, or get to the trial? But here, I mean, some of the stuff today was at least news. It was at least interesting, right? Now, what I want to show you next, okay, we've looked at those documents, is just quickly this, which I'll have to resize for you, was an interview that Ethan Chapin's mom did. Man, I like her approach so much. They asked her, are you going to be at the trial? And she's like, nope, it's not a productive use of my time. Like, I'm not going to be there. Thank you. Like, she'll do anything else rather. And I like that. I don't know about you guys. I like her approach to things. So let's do it like this. How about that? And I'll have to make myself a little bit smaller. Hey. Okay. And let's hope you can hear.
He loved everybody and everybody loved him. Everybody wanted to be around him.
Ethan's parents, Stacy and Jim Chapin, are honoring him through a foundation named Ethan's Smile. It gives scholarships to local students to attend the University of Idaho.
That kid has touched more lives. We say in our family, if we touch as many lives as he did in his 20 years, this world would be a better place.
Ethan was a triplet. His 2 siblings still attend the university. This May, graduation ceremonies were bittersweet as the school awarded Ethan a posthumous certificate. And now, Stacy Chapin has written a children's book about Ethan called The Boy Who Wore Blue. A portion of the profits will also go to the foundation, Ethan's Smile. Okay. And Stacy Chapin joins us now. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
It's hard to watch those images of your beloved boy. How are you doing?
It's hard.
Yeah, it is.
It's good though. I mean, all things considered, we're doing very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a triplet. He has a brother and sister. How are they doing?
Jim and I couldn't be more proud of them, to be honest with you. They went back to school. They had they finished successfully this semester. And now they're back at work in a place that they love, and we've called summer home for a long time. So they're in a safe, great environment, and they're doing amazing. I'm so proud of them. It's amazing.
I think people are about to find out what an extraordinary family you have, Stacy, and what an extraordinary boy Ethan was. You've written this book. It's called The Boy Who Wore Blue. Tell me about writing it, and what made you decide to write this story?
It started with my best friend sent me a news release that was that an author had been given the rights to the story to tell of these kids. And as a mom, you're like, well, how does somebody write a story about people that they don't know, right? Right, about my kid. Yeah, I'm the one who's raised him, Jim and I. And it just sparked something in me. And the only thing I can explain to people how the book came about is I think it's like a country artist who goes through a breakup and writes their greatest hit. It literally just came to me in the middle of the night.
It's Ethan's song.
It's everything. Yeah, it's the best I can do for him.
I love The Boy Who Wore Blue. You had triplets, and you learn in the book that when they were little, they used to each wear a color.
They did.
And that's how you told them apart when they were babies. And he was the one who wore blue.
He was the blue.
He was a very special young man. Everybody says it. Tell me about him.
Yeah.
This must be so difficult, But I think she's amazing. I think she's being very strong. And I like her stance, but we can all have different opinions, I see what you guys are saying there. I like it, but let me know what you think.
He was that way from the very beginning, to be honest. He was born happy. He was just magnanimous, kind of. I don't know really how to explain it. What we find more interesting is how many lives he touched that we didn't even know existed. It's incredible. I mean, I tell people if I touch as many lives in my lifetime as he did in 20 years, he just swarmed every room. He had a wonderful smile.
You hear in those stories now, people are calling you and saying, I remember when Ethan did this or that.
Yes, or strangers.
Yeah.
The strangers have been amazing who have come up to us, and it always started the same way. You don't know me, but I have this story to tell you. Yeah.
What does that do for you? Is it comforting? Is it hard to kind of share your grief with this high-profile story and it's so public?
We learned our family has always tried to help everybody, and we came upon the Sigma Chi boys the morning after, and in that moment we realized that not only that it wasn't just our family healed one way, but everybody needed to heal from this, and we saw it in an instant, kind of seeing all of his friends, and it's just gone from there. It's literally we've been reached by people across the world.
Just gonna pause it there for a second. Yeah, you guys are all asking, is your chat acting weird? Is the chat acting weird? YouTube is doing a lot of things, upgrading a lot of things, changing a lot of things. So yeah, the chat's glitching platform wide here and there. We'll get through it, you guys.
And it just, we can see that everybody needs to heal from it, and it feels good.
You have extraordinary strength. Yeah. You and your husband seem to have this resolve. You say if people want to talk to you about it, it's okay to talk about.
Yes.
It's not the elephant in the room.
Yes.
You want to talk about Ethan.
Yes.
Where does that come from, that strength, when you're dealing with the unimaginable?
We just decided that, it has its moments, of course, right? But we get up every morning and we just decided that the best thing we can do is put our best foot forward, mostly for Maisie and Hunter. They deserve it. They didn't deserve this. And so they deserve still the best life that we can give them. And that is really our strength. It drives us. We literally get up and, have coffee and then say, all right, we're going to go forward.
I was so struck by something you wrote. It was on social media earlier this year. You said, we spend no time being angry. That would be energy not well spent. And it still wouldn't change the outcome. We have to look ahead.
Yes.
That's your philosophy.
Yes. It doesn't change the outcome. Even, even looking ahead at the, the trial coming up in October now, we choose to not, it does not change the outcome of our family, and it's energy that we need to put into healing our kids and, getting back to a new family dynamic and working on that. And so we let the prosecutors do their job, and we do our job in our family.
Do you think?
Again, I like it. I see some of you reacting to it, like, why won't she go to the trial and why won't the family be going? But what does it change, whether they're there or not? Why must families always put themselves through that? I think they've done an amazing job at, healing somewhat. And sometimes families don't go to those trials. And the last thing they need is to be judged for it. Because why? That's about, the suspect now having a fair trial. He's innocent till proven guilty. If he's the person that's proven to have done this, okay, well then there'll be consequences, which could even be the death penalty. I like this approach. I don't know about you guys. You don't have to like it. You could choose what you like. But I really like this approach because it's like energy not well spent. I get it. I get exactly what she's saying.
Think you'll come to the trial and attend it?
No.
Yeah. Too hard.
It doesn't change the outcome. It just is energy that doesn't feel like it's well spent. There's other places to put it. So.
Ethan, as we said, was such an extraordinary young man, one of those light up the room type of people.
Yep.
What would you want the world to know about him? Now they know his name. What do you want them to know about him?
Honestly, I think the world sees it in the photos. I mean, he's become this just, look at him, we're looking at his pictures. He was just the greatest kid. Everybody loved him. He was warm, he was inclusive, he was the kid you wanted to hang out with, anywhere he was. He would play any sport, he'd play any cribbage game. I mean, he just was always game to participate in anything with a big smile and a warm heart. He was kind.
Well,
yeah,
we can see where he gets a lot of those attributes from your family, a wonderful, supportive family. And I just have to show people you have the most beautiful new tattoo on your arm. Can we show it? It's his handwriting. I love you, Mom. Ethan. It's beautiful.
It's from McCarty.
From McCarty gave you.
Yeah.
Stacey, thank you so much. Highly encourage people to hear Ethan's story, The Boy Who Wore Blue.
Yep.
As his mother tells it. Stacey, thank you so much. And you can find out more about the book and other ways that Stacey and Jim, her husband, are honoring.
So this is the book, The Boy Who Wore Blue, written by Stacey Chapin, illustrated by Lana Lee. So someone in chat just said they ordered it and it's on its way to them. That's amazing. Okay. So let's do this. Okay, I'll just make myself like this. So there, I'm glad I got to show you that now today as well. I watched that a few days ago. That was published 2 days ago. So Chris 10K, thank you for being a member for 3 months. You know what I like about that stance is that they're doing what's best for them, and that's okay. That's part of healing. Healing does look different for everyone. I mean, people are so quick to say grieving looks different for anyone and everyone. And like, I don't know, people get very defensive on social media until someone actually really takes care of themselves. Then they're like, no, why would they do that? Put themselves through it. Why won't they go and, go to the trial? I'm like, I like that they're doing the best for their mental health, for their healing. They've got a, was it a foundation, right? For Ethan. Ethan Smiles. This one. Let's just see.
Smile. It gives scholarship.
He loved everybody and everybody loved him. Everybody wanted to be around him.
Ethan's parents, Stacey and Jim Chapin, are honoring him through a foundation named...
A foundation. They've got a foundation, Ethan Smile. They planted a whole bunch of like tulips in fields. And I mean, they've written a children's book. I don't know. That's their way of doing it. I think it's great. So Woodland Creature said the power of love and kindness compared. I mean, it can look different for everyone. So everyone does deal with everything in life differently, especially traumatic events like this. And I think that's okay. No one gets a prize for being like, just be super tough and just brave it and just go through it. I mean, these trials, Ooh, trials, man. I always feel for the families when they got to go through it and see all those like terrible pictures and things and all the information. It's hectic. Okay. Yeah. Mara says, I'm not crying. You're crying. Oh, man. And her tattoo. Isn't that just so special? Wow. So, yes. Lurking around says, I absolutely admire her. Yes. Chris 10K says, I admire her. I wouldn't be able to not go to the trial. Everyone heals differently. Exactly. I mean, a lot of us would agree we might. Not that we're in that position. So we can't know until we're in that position ever, right? Let's hope we're never in that position. So from not having experienced it, most of us would say we would want to go to the trial. But until you're in it, you just don't know how you're going to react, number one. Number two, even if all of us in this room right now would be like, well, we would go. Well, that's fine. We would go. And they're not going to go. That's okay. There's different approaches, right, to the trauma. Yes, okay. So thank you, everyone, for your support. Thank you, Pat, for becoming a Grizzly $2 supporter. Thank you so much for becoming a member. I hope that the documents were interesting for you. They were fairly interesting, right? And let's see what happens. Let's see what the judge comes back with. If there's another, normally it's fairly quick for the judge to respond and say what's going to happen. So we shall have a look. I'll keep an eye on the documents there. And I will see you all very soon again. Thank you, mods. 2 in one day. Thank you, moderators. Thank you, patrons. Thank you, members. And if you haven't yet become part of this fantastic community, please do subscribe, hit the bell, make sure the bell's to all. And I would highly recommend, because YouTube is going through a lot of changes. If you haven't noticed, the live chat has moved on many devices. Like, I'm so confused sometimes, like, where is it? Or do you also feel like that? So they've moved the live chat and they're changing things, and actually it will end up being an improvement. But while we go through all those changes, it might be a good idea to uninstall your YouTube app and reinstall it. It might also be a good idea to unsubscribe and resubscribe. Those things generally can help, okay? So, yes. Thank you so much. We shall see what happens. Just please remember that in this case, we need to keep the victims at the forefront, okay? So, Ethan Chapin, Xana Kernodle, Kaylee Goncalves, Madison Mogen. That's what it's about. I know that Bryan is innocent until proven guilty and that he's got rights and he's got rights to a fair trial and all of that. But the spotlight, the fandom, there's a fandom building around him. He's getting like love letters. There was a thing I saw the other day of him being on some kind of website from inside the jail, which I don't know if it's true or not, but it looked like it. Looked like there was like some kind of selfie that he uploaded to connect with people. Oh, no. No. Please no to the fandom. Anyway, so I will see you all in the next one. Remember, stay safe. Okay, bye.